All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So, in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
When I was 12 years old, my parents got a divorce and I decided I wanted my life to be different. So I dove into figuring out all the secrets of living happily and fulfilling marriage with your spouse. So I've been married for 23 years. We have 4 children, and I help couples ditch roommate syndrome and resentment and start writing their happily ever after love story.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
So I help couples make their marriage really strong and intimate and passionate in 2 ways. I do coaching intensives with couples where they come to see me for 3 days straight, and we do counseling for 6 to 8 hours a day for 3 days. And the other way I help couples is an hour each week sessions. So that's how we operate.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
So the first time I ever tried to do a marriage event, I had a location that I was so excited. I invited married couples from my email list as well as on social media, and I promoted it for weeks, months actually, and I didn't sell a single ticket. So it was quite difficult for me to realize that I still hadn't created that know, like, and trust factor enough with my audience to get them to leave their homes and come to an event. But it's different now. So the very first time I tried to host an event, I didn't sell a single ticket.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
The most effective marketing tool that I have is a summit where I invite lots of other experts in my field who have big audiences that are all interested in improving and strengthening their marriage together and I interview them all on a topic that would be interesting and educational for their audiences, and we sell a VIP upgrade, so not only grows our email lists, but that makes quite a bit of money as well. So that has been a really awesome marketing tool that we've used to get noticed and cross-pollinate our audiences.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes, what I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self to our audience and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going. Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today.
Yeah, the advice that I would offer to my younger self is to start early and be consistent. It takes time to grow know, and trust factor with your audience so that you can be the go-to authority in your space. So definitely consistency is key. Start talking even when nobody is listening, and just keep talking until you find your voice and your audience finds you.
Today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
Thank you so much. You can find out how to work with me from my website, which is my name, monicatanner.com. From there, you can find out how to work with me. You can find out about free resources like my podcast called Secrets of Happily Ever After, and my social media channels where I post every single day. I also just wrote a book called Bad Marriage Advice, which you can find on Amazon and other book retailers. You can get on the waiting list for that book or figure out how to buy it at badmarriageadvice.com.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify. And this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at, and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.